Speaking of the old Steam and the old Gaben, I saw this. Valve bans all Steam games that force players to watch advertisements. This is a colossal W. Once again, Valve is just... I've talked about this before on stream. I still find it ridiculous that I am happy that we have a monopoly on the PC game market. I find it so funny that I am actually like, yes, I want Valve to continue operating with monopoly-like power, because they're just good. Can you imagine any other platform just like blanket banning watching ads? It's kind of wild. Valve has implemented new rules around advertising, explicitly prohibiting games that force players to watch in-game ads. Based. The new rules from Valve, available online and first reported by Gaming on Linux, confirm that whilst cross-promotion and product placement are permitted, games that force players to watch or engage with advertising in order to play are not. Nor should developers use advertising as a way to provide value to players. This is an oxymoron, by the way. As a way to provide value, such as giving players a reward for watching or engaging with advertising in their game. Developers should not utilize paid advertising as a business model in their game, such as requiring players to watch or otherwise engage with advertising in order to play, or gating gameplay behind advertising, the rules explain. Unfathomably based. If your game's business model relies on advertising on other platforms, you will need to remove those elements before shipping on Steam. Hell yeah. Some options you could consider include switching to a single purchase paid app, or making your game free to play with optional upgrades sold via microtransactions or downloadable content DLC. While I suspect most of us would associate this kind of behavior with mobile games, exactly. Like, a lot of mobile games have like this watch this ad to skip this, and it's ridiculous. Like, Valve is just like, nah, we're nipping this in the bud. Like, there's no shot this is coming to PC. You want to be on Steam, the single biggest platform? Get rid of it. Straight up. Either you make the game pay to win and make people pay for DLC just outright and they'll know exactly what they're getting into, or you're not going to be on Steam. We're not going to have this ad nonsense. Absolutely not. Valve clearly thought it necessary to clarify in clear English what is and is not supported on Steam. Developers are also not forced to charge other developers for access to Steam features, such as sales, bundles, storefronts, or franchise pages. This is what I'm talking about. It is absolutely absurd that someone with a freaking finance degree is talking about how good it is that a Valve monopoly on the video game industry is actually the best outcome for consumers. It's actually insane. Why would I play something when I'm constantly being disturbed by ads? Ruins the whole experience. Well, tell that to the mobile gaming industry. Tell that to the mobile gaming industry. Unfortunately, it is a thing. It is a thing. Valve also added features where it tells you if the game is in early access. Let me look at that. Valve adds early access indicator 1 year dead game. This one right here. Steam adds a new warning for dead early access games like Unsung Story. So as you know, a few years ago, the all early access thing was a bit of an exploit. People launched games into early access, and this was basically their way out of making something incomplete, putting it on Steam, farming money, getting the hell out, right? And they always sold this as, it's early access, you know what you're signing up for. It's not a finished game. Maybe we're never going to finish it. All of this is a plan. You're just buying into the game, right? And Valve just said, okay, if you're going to stop actually making it, you're going to have a big old red banner. Again, is this not ridiculous? Is this not ridiculous from Valve? It's almost as if if you provide a good enough service for the customer and don't try and like nickel and dime them everywhere, trick them into giving you more money, doing all of these shady things, they will happily come back. They will say, thank you, Valve, for providing this good service. I will happily give you money instead of raising the black flag. Imagine. They do nothing and they win. They just provide a good service, do nothing, and win. Simple as. Simple as. Man, one of the things that keep me up at night is what's going to happen to Valve after Gaben. We've talked about this before many times on stream. I know he has like plans in place about who could take over and stuff like that. Let me just put it this way. I really hope Gaben's BCI business works out. If you don't know, he's working on BCIs, right? I really hope Gaben's research and Gaben's work on BCIs works out, and he can just upload his brain to Steam, and he can forever be the godfather of PC gaming. He will unironically, like, become Akihiko Kayaba, and he's just gonna live on the internet. He's just gonna always be there. He's going to be the ultimate lord of every single PC gaming universe that will ever exist. He'll be the first one there. I hope that happens. Otherwise, I feel like it's gonna be like the worst timeline where PC gaming becomes Game of Thrones, where every single person is trying to usurp the Steam crown. It will be so bad. Remember when Among Us got rid of ads on mobile because of X-rated ads being placed in their game? Yeah, like this is a very, very unfortunate thing. This always happens. YouTube has this problem too. I don't know how it happens, and I don't know like how strict their moderation team has to be in order to catch this. But YouTube unfortunately also has some like straight up not safe for work ads. It's very unfortunate it happens. Like in a business of that scale, I think like at that point, like the only thing that could probably solve this is something like AI constantly skimming through them, which I assume they already doing, but still something just goes through. It's kind of hard, but I understand not forcing ads, but why ban optional ads for power-ups? May indie games rely on optional ads? Absolutely not. I see what you're saying with this, but think about it this way. Think about it this way. If basically all you need to do is get around this disruptive... Okay, take a step back. What do ads do? They disrupt gameplay, okay? Simple as. So let's say you can have forcing ads on the player. Okay, they're going to be optional. So now what I'll do is I'll try and make the game have these small bits of friction so that the optional becomes a necessity. Every single time you pay for convenience, it is pay to win. There is no such thing as pay for convenience, pay for increasing the quality of anything. This is not a thing that exists. People always say pay to win is bad, pay for convenience, it's fine. No, it's not. When you make something pay for convenience, they are incentivized to make the game inconvenience. There is a financial incentive to make you want to make the game more convenient. And also, let's take it even one more step back. Pay for convenience. Why did you make the game inconvenience? Why did you even do that? Like, think about it from that perspective. So, if your business model relies on optional ads, feels bad, man. Either sell it for cheap, make a DLC, give the players other ways to support you. Do not make the gameplay experience bad. Just don't. There is no such thing as optional ads. Just don't. They may end up being not so optional. Exactly, yeah. It's even worse when the problem that you have to pay around gets intentionally designated that way. I mean, or designed that way. That's exactly what happens. That's exactly what happens in all these situations. When you have these optional ways to give people money, like, it's not optional. They have a financial incentive to make you pay for it. Of course they're going to put it in there. It's not like they want to. Like, the developers don't want to put it in there. But it's money. Are not banning pay to win. If anything, that makes games more pay to win because there is no way for free-to-play players to progress. Well, I mean, that's a whole separate can of worms, right? Like, if you're going to pay to win, pay to win. Just don't make the gameplay experience disruptive at a baseline. I do think, like, I mean, if I was the ultimate arbiter of video games, there would be no pay to win. There would be no cosmetics, nothing. There would just be the game. The complete game, period. But that's not the world we live in, right? So pay to win is like a whole another can of worms. And like, if you want to make your game pay to win and just sell out, go for it. Go for it. You know, like, if a person doesn't want to pay to win, well, GG's, you lost that customer. If you're going to put ads in the game at a baseline, that's harming everyone. Baseline. Freemium ain't free. Yep. You know what doesn't have pay to win or ads? A good game. Exactly. I've always talked about this with like Dark Souls, right? If you go on the Dark Souls store page, you buy the game, you log into the game, and the first button in the game is start game. That's it. You don't need to figure out anything. You buy the product, You click on the product, and you use the product. If I need to go through like 5 hoops to figure out which version of the game do I need to buy for the complete experience, right? If I need to go into the game itself and the first button I see is a store, and I need to click through 3 pop-ups to explore the battle pass, explore the seasonal event, and to see like the exclusive discount with 900% value, I'm out. I'm out. First 2 games already include all DLCs. That's like another thing that I feel like is the best approach to these kinds of things. When games start to get DLCs, after a while they just roll all the DLCs into a single package. A lot of games do this, and I completely support this. Oh yeah, and they want you to create an account. That's another one. They want you to create another account. 900% increased value, change my mind, take my money. Absolutely. And it's very sad that like because like I always ask myself, why do these things even exist? And the simple answer is because they work. You know, whenever you think something is too stupid to work, just remember that it exists for a reason. It works. Like, people are not putting it out there for nothing, right? And it's sad that it works. It really is. It really is. It's the same thing like Blizzard is selling cosmetics for like $70. I'm just out. Like, I just stopped. I'm not playing WoW. I'm not playing Diablo 4. I had my fun. And you know what? They lost me. It's what happens when you play games with these transactions. You get used to seeing it, and it becomes easier to just get $2. You say slippery slope, but there's an actual term for this. Like, I think the was it just cracking the ice? There's a term for this. So, you know how if you want to get something for free, they require you to put in your credit card details. You might think that putting in your credit card details is just so you won't abuse the system and have like 10 accounts to get the free thing, right? That is a part of it, but the bigger part is that you'll be able to use those credit card details in an instant when you want to buy something. And it's been proven that like the statistical probability of you using your credit card after you already put in the details is insane. And when you put it together, I already see you talking about purchasable in-game currency. I absolutely agree with you. I think all of these things should be banned baseline. They are fundamentally anti-consumer, fundamentally predatory. And I use the word predatory here in the clearest example. It is actually taking advantage of the person's, like, psyche to essentially detach the value of money and attach it to a arbitrary unit that they've generated. It is fundamentally predatory, and it takes advantage of the consumer. They should be banned. When you combine all of these different things together, it becomes so easy for people who are like naturally predisposed to spending money on these things. It becomes so easy to spend money. They already have your payment details. You're not spending money, you're just buying V-Bucks. And then look at this. This is on sale, and it is a timed offer. I will miss out on 800% value if I don't buy this. And you buy it. And then you just keep buying and buying and buying, and at a certain point it's kind of like, it happens. But yeah, anyway, going back to what I said, Valve, so based. Oh, based. It is so based, it's actually insane. You know what would be very, very funny? If Valve started to use its monopoly power to push back against this stuff. If it's not like the consumer protection agencies or anything, it's actually Valve pushing back against these practices. If they're like, you can't sell these premium currencies on our store. You just can't do it. Feels bad, man. You just can't do it. It would be absolutely glorious. Realistically, I don't think it would happen, because I think like that would be like a very industry shaking thingy, but it would be so cool. A man can dream. A man can always dream.